We welcome you to NKU Soccer Stadium in Highland Heights, Kentucky. It is match week 7 in MLS Next Pro as FC Cincinnati 2 welcomes in undefeated Philadelphia Union 2 in an Eastern Conference clash. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, thrilled to bring this one to you. Philadelphia trying to get back to the top of the Eastern Conference table. They would do so with either a shootout win or a win in the 90 minutes here today. Marlon LeBlanc's side have been rolling at the start of this 2024 MLS Next Pro campaign. They've been undefeated in 90 minutes throughout the entirety of the season. They've only fallen in a shootout. As far as FC Cincinnati 2 are concerned, they feel that they're turning a corner as they look here at the Eastern Conference standings. FC Cincinnati 2 would move back into the playoff places if they're able to grab 3 points here today. And of course, that is pending other results. Chattanooga were impressive yesterday. However, Philadelphia Union 2 would jump ahead of them with a victory today. Starting lineups here for both teams. Tyrone Marshall's FC Cincinnati 2 looks like this. Nico Benalcazar and Peter Mangione in the midfield will be critical. Amir Daly, Stefan Cirilla, and Moises Tablante have all been very impressive in the attack. Hunter Morse gets the start between the sticks, and of course Isaiah Foster has also shined for FC Cincinnati 2 in these early weeks of the season. Marlon LeBlanc's 11 is stacked with talent. Andrew Rick is between the sticks. The captain is Francis Westfield, along with Neil Pierre and company. They'll lead the back line. Christopher Olney Jr. and Giovanni Sequeira, crucial pieces in the midfield. Sal Olivas and Eddie Davis are the two up top. Both of them have been rather impressive at the start of this Philadelphia Union 2 campaign. 6 games, none have been losses for Philadelphia Union 2 to this point. 3 losses for FC Cincinnati 2. However, they are beaming with confidence at the moment after going to Kennesaw last time out and taking down Atlanta United 2 by 4-1. Tyrone Marshall's group will feel that they can knock Philadelphia from the ranks of the unbeaten here today. The way Philly have been beginning the season, they are going to be a tough cookie no matter where they play. And Marlon LeBlanc's sides have always taken pride in being tough to deal with on the road. We expect more of the same this afternoon here in Kentucky. It will be Philadelphia getting us started. They'll be going from right to left here in Highland Heights. Off we go here in Kentucky. FC Cincinnati 2 are in their whites with the blue stripes down the front. And it is the navy blues with the lighter stripes going vertically up and down the back and fronts of the Philadelphia kits. We're thrilled to bring this one to you. It's a rather important match, it must be said, in the Eastern Conference. I know it's only match week 7 in MLS Next Pro, but these points are so craved by both of these two sides. Philadelphia are always playing for pride, even when there's nothing on the line. However, that's a very rare thing. They're always seemingly playing for something under Marlon LeBlanc, and they are playing for first place at the moment in the East, and they're trying to keep their unbeaten start to the season intact. But Tyrone Marshall's Cincinnati feel like they've turned a corner. They have really improved over the last couple of weeks. That culminated with the win at Atlanta, and they are hoping to back that up with what could be their most impressive result of the season if they can dethrone Philly tonight. Of course, for Philadelphia, it was a 1-1 draw in the 90 minutes against New York Red Bulls 2 last time out. And Marlon LeBlanc, in his media availability earlier this week, said it's never pretty when Philly and New York Red Bulls get together. It's always a tight fixture. It finished 1-1. However, Philly did win the shootout that followed by 4-2. Christopher Olney Jr. scored the winning penalty in the shootout. And that was, of course, after Eddie Davis scored yet again for Philly. He has 4 to lead Philadelphia Union 2 this season. He's tied for third most in the entirety of MLS Next Pro. Ball played ahead there. Stefan Cirilla, who's really impressed Tyrone Marshall recently, trying to get onto the ball there for the hosts. It's cleared away by Francis Westfield. It's always a cornerstone piece of this Marlon LeBlanc setup. Now, the all-time series between these two is actually tied at the moment. 2 wins apiece for both of these two sides. FC Cincinnati 2 actually won the last meeting, and they've actually won the last 2 meetings in this fixture. The last meeting was in August of 2023. Cincinnati won at Subaru Park by 2-1. Ben Stitz, who begins the day on the bench, scored along with Pinto in a 2-1 win. Of course, before that, Philadelphia won the first 2 meetings in this fixture. Of course, these two met in the inaugural MLS Next Pro match. Philly won by 2-0.
They do.
So Philly won the first 2 in a clean sweep. FC Cincinnati 2 responded by sweeping Philly last season. And with both teams in really good shape at the moment, it will be interesting to see who gets the upper hand in this rubber game, if you will, at this point in the fixture's young history. Here comes that Philadelphia press. They tend to make life very difficult on their opponents, but our referee, Matt Thompson, brings it back for a late challenge. It's a Cincinnati free kick. That ball's floated over the top, looking for the aforementioned Eddie Davis. Hunter Morse resets for Cincy. Of course, for Cincinnati in their last game, we talked about it, 4 goals from 4 different goal scorers. For Cincinnati, that's the first time that's ever happened for FC Cincinnati 2. The first time that they've had 4 unique goal scorers in the same game. Never happened before, just happened last time out. And of course, it's a season high in goals for a game as well for this season for Cincinnati. The 4th time they scored 4 or more, but the first time since a year ago, April of 2023, when they scored 5 against New England. There's Philadelphia again probing here with Davis. Olney Jr., who was the hero last time out for Westfield. Sanders Ngaba for Westfield again, probing. Olney bending one into the penalty area, and Cincinnati are able to deal with this and send it ahead for Cirilla. Now then, on the turn, Macania does very well initially there for Philly. Cincinnati close it down. Cirilla, who was harried, is penalized in the end here. Tyrone Marshall feels that should have gone the other way. In the end, Gabo wins the challenge here. Oh, I must say the referee, I don't think he saw it, to be fair to Matthew Thompson, but there was a clear shirt pull from Ngabo on the near side. I don't think the referee got the right view of that. It should have been a Cincinnati free kick. To give the referees the benefit of the doubt on those, he was shielded to that, Matt Thompson. And of course, those that aren't familiar with referee positioning, because Matthew Thompson's on this side of the pitch and the assistant is lined up with the second to last defender, Matthew Thompson has the vantage point required to make that call. Meanwhile, Cincinnati looked to respond at the other end. It nearly fell for Cirilla. Crucial defending by Neil Pierre, and Philadelphia clears. And the ball going back down the far side, looking for Gerardo Valenzuela. Goes out of play. Just to finish the earlier thought, because the assistant referee on the near side for that call is down the line, down the right-hand side, on the near side of the pitch from your perspective at home, Matthew Thompson's supposed to be closer to that call there, and he was well positioned, but again, he was shielded from it. The shirt pull happened on the opposite side of where he could see it. So he's in the right position to make the call. However, Matthew Thompson, to be fair to him, didn't get the correct vantage point because it was out of his eyesight. Cleared by Morse. It's going to bounce out of play. Well read by Westfield. Philly gets the ball back. Quick feet by Westfield. Challenge comes in by Amir Daly, who continues to show well for Cincinnati in these early weeks and months of the season. 3 goals and 2 assists to lead Cincinnati so far. For Amir Daly, the former Duke Blue Devil. Was headed by Akanya. All the way back to Andrew Rick, who nearly misjudged that. But he does play the ball over the top. Daly has trouble with it. Davis shoots, but Eddie Davis was in an offside position, and it's all a moot point. And it's a free kick. Well, Andrew Rick nearly got it all wrong for Philly, and then nearly got it completely right in the end. But Eddie Davis could not stay onside. Well, we heard from Marlon LeBlanc earlier this week in his media availability. He talked about Eddie Davis, and obviously he's scoring, but he said, I liked how much he did against the ball in the game against New York. He said defending was great, and he said it started with our 9, started with our attacking group, and of course Eddie Davis leads that group, and just hinted at the fact that he loved the effort defensively that Davis brought to the table, just as much, if not more, than his goal-scoring acumen. As that ball is sent soaring out NKU Soccer Stadium here. That went past row Z. Luckily, that's what the sidelines are for, to keep the balls handy. I'm sure a few of these players have been at practices where if one ball gets booted out, it's going to take a few minutes to get it back and restart the play. Westfield just trying to poke it ahead, and in the end, Morse takes charge for FC Cincinnati. One of the other interesting things that Marlon LeBlanc said in the lead up to the match, he said the group was actually disappointed with some of the result with New York. Of course, part of that is Philly wanted to win it in the 90 minutes. They did not quite do that. Said the group thought we deserved more from the game. He said the group showed quality and patience in the second half in particular. He said he really liked the way the team handled the moments down the stretch as that ball is looped in by David Vasquez and held by Morse. And then, of course, Philadelphia did the business on penalties to grab that additional point off a very good New York Red Bulls 2 side. Look at the East over these few years of MLS Next Pro. It always feels like New York Red Bulls, Philly, Columbus, always in and amongst it in the Eastern Conference race. Those have been three of the teams who have been the constants. Of course, it's still early for the likes of New England to turn things around, and New York City plan to be in the mix as well. Of course, we've had a great showing so far from Chattanooga. Actually, as we speak, New England have a 3-0 lead against Miami. So maybe that turnaround for Richie Williams and his group begins today. Multiple games going on live. Crown Legacy were so good last year, trying to recreate the magic this season. They have a 2-0 lead in Queens against the aforementioned City Boys. The other live game is Orlando 1, Toronto 1 as well. We're still early enough in the season where it feels like even those teams, some of the teams towards the bottom, can still work their way back into the mix. The one game that is final is Chicago 2, Atlanta 0. Coach Ludo's boys able to pick up 3 important points. All part of another big Sunday slate of MLS Next Pro action. Meanwhile, here's Davis trying to chop it into the penalty area. Olivas had an opportunity as well. Couldn't quite get the shot away. It's not cleared yet. Philadelphia wins the ball back. And then it's a sliding clearance out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. Now that second press from Philadelphia allowed them to get right back on the front foot. That was a critical intervention at the back end of that sequence. Moises Tablante, and now it's headed on again. Hunter Morse recovers. Here's a chance for Cincinnati. Cirilla. And the whistle goes. Don't think the run was quite up to snuff. This portion of the match is brought to you by MedPace, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. A nibble of a challenge from Isaiah Foster, or beg your pardon, by Steven Jimenez, leads to a foul and a Philly free kick. Looks like it's going to be Olney Jr. who will take it. He bends the ball in. It's headed down. And then curled back in by Giovanni Sequeira. It goes over and out. Another good job by Philadelphia, winning the ball back. Only trying to twist and turn through a sea of defenders. When the dust settles, it is Nico Benalcazar. Gets Cincinnati out of trouble. Only with a quick turn. Pass was Aaron. Philly wins the ball back again with Sequeira. Poked ahead, Olivas' header. Sequeira into the penalty area. He falls down. The follow-up shot is blocked away. Vasquez recycles. Could open up here for Philly. Westfield has his cross blocked away, and Benalcazar gets Cincinnati just about on the front foot. And now, after a challenge comes in, it's a Cincy free kick. Play is restarted by Brian Schaefer. Quickly, Cincinnati gives the ball back. That's what's so tough about dealing with this Philadelphia team. That's what Marlon LeBlanc said earlier this week. Wanted to make sure that his team stayed true to themselves and played their style. And if they can, they will make things happen. And that's exactly how this match has started. Davis trying to turn provider. Sees his cross deflected out. It's going to be a throw-in for Philadelphia. Ngabo. Oh, a slip by Olney. Cirilla for Cincy. Maybe Cincinnati with a chance to go the other way. They haven't had many yet. Mangione or Benalcazar in his fourth start, coming off of an injury. All the way back to Morris. Well, Tyrone Marshall been happy with a number of his players and really the group in general recently, but just talked about the leadership that Nico Benalcazar has brought to this Cincinnati group, formerly of New York City FC2 for multiple seasons. I remember talking with Tyrone Marshall earlier in the campaign, and he was one of the players who was anxious to get into the fold, and so far he's been tremendous. Mangione. There's a chance to get through here. It's lovely footwork. Nearly a tremendous goal. Oh my word! It's a stunning strike. A stroke of genius from Gerardo Valenzuela gives Cincinnati the lead. Well, I hesitate to say it, but it's almost Messi-esque. Twinkle toe stuff. You may not see a better one this week in MLS Next Pro. A burst of lightning out of the boots of Gerardo Valenzuela. Tremendous close control. And he just played his way through one of the best teams in the league, all by himself. That's the beauty of the beautiful game. You just never quite know what's going to take place, and we've just seen a magical moment. Whoa! And now Philadelphia trying to get themselves back focused. More good pressure It's a Philadelphia free kick in the end. Again, talk about against the run of play as well. It's been all Philly in this game so far. And then the magic emerged. It's Gerardo Valenzuela's first goal of this campaign. And it is a memorable moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And Cincinnati, all of a sudden, are beaming with confidence again. Here's Benalcazar. Helped along by Jimenez. Valenzuela, can he do it again? Oh, pushed off the ball this time. Philadelphia saying not this time. Well, he might get another chance. Cirilla, goalkeeper was off his line. Cirilla brought down. Free kick. How quickly a game can change here. Philly were in such good shape. Hadn't scored yet, of course, but they were really dictating the tempo. Valenzuela and company have quickly flipped the script. A goal and a chance here to maybe add a second. This portion of the match is brought to you by TQL, official logistics partner of FC Cincinnati. Now Philadelphia has to put a few numbers in the wall. Looks like it's going to be 5 in the main core of this Philly wall. A few numbers on the outsides of it. The free kick, in the end, was chopped in there by Valenzuela, who couldn't quite get enough behind it this time. Of course, the strike at the end of the move was so delicate. Just a beautiful little touch. Put it past the goalkeeper, and you could see what he was trying to do. The second attempt there from the free kick, just trying to arc it. Again, that can be so tough. Any player will tell you that one of the toughest things to do from a set piece is to go up, over, and then quickly back down on target from that kind of range. Philadelphia looking for an immediate response. Sequeira out wide, cut out. And Cincinnati go back to work. There was a chance for Moises Tablante on the far side. Few appeals that it went out, but it hasn't. And it's rolled into Eddie Davis. Davis tries to find the angle. And he nearly found the target, but it's out of play for a goal kick. Another look, lovely little ball roll into Davis. And Davis, not a bad strike either, but just wide. Now then, cheeky little back heel. Try and get the ball into Mangione. It's cut out. Vasquez for Philadelphia. Has time and space, and in the end tried to poke it into the path of Olney, but he did so unsuccessfully. Well, if you're just joining us, you've likely missed the game, I should say the goal of the week. Could still be the game of the week. It's still early minutes here. But surely that goal is going to be tough to beat from Gerardo Valenzuela. It's the kind of moments that this league can produce. There's just talent oozing out of all of these squads. And Gerardo Valenzuela was a player that maybe has gone a little bit under the radar. We didn't talk to Tyrone Marshall about him because there have been other players who have come to the fore in these early weeks, but you just never know when someone's going to announce themselves on a stage like this. And Valenzuela looks to get involved again, but his ball bent ahead is cut out. that are coming together there. See Cincinnati win a free kick. Schaefer up ahead. First back in the end.
Go, go,
Be a chance here for Cincinnati. Just was floated over the top. Valenzuela's on the turn again. Plays a lovely ball in. Mangione. Oh, such quick feet initially, but then the ball rolls away from him from the same place where Valenzuela waved his magic wand earlier. That's great work again. Valenzuela fends off the first challenge, second challenge. Plays a lovely incisive ball, and then in the end, Mangione just couldn't get it out from under his feet in time. A little nook on the edge of the 6-yard box keeps providing some moments of wonder in this first half. Nearly a second one occurs. Sent ahead by Isaiah Foster. He's also been chiming in with goals this season. That's going to be a free kick for Cincinnati. Tablante wins it. Isaiah Foster has certainly been contributing in the attack, but of course in defensively as well. So we're going to have a hydro break, the 30-minute mark here in the first half. Get a chance to tell you as well that this portion of the match is brought to you by First Financial Bank, official bank of FC Cincinnati. A moment of pure quality separates the sides at the moment. Gerardo Valenzuela. He's going to be a name that'll be talked about at least for the next few days, you would think, in MLS circles after a wonderful finish. After he just dribbled his way past multiple Philadelphia Union 2 defenders. Yeah, not trying to dub anyone as the next anybody, but it did have a little bit of that messy flair. Just quick feet between multiple defenders. Looks like there's nothing to do, and all of a sudden the chance happens. It was a memorable stroke of magic. A little strike at the end of it, little dink past the goalkeeper. Just marvelous finishing. And of course, what was so wild about that is that it was all Philadelphia in the opening stages. Marlon LeBlanc's boys looked surely like they were going to find the breakthrough themselves, and it all changed on a moment's notice. And Cincinnati have had one or two good chances after that to add on to their lead. At the moment, and a long way to go here, of course, in Kentucky, but it's Philadelphia's unbeaten run is in a little bit of trouble here. As we saw against New York Red Bulls and other times this season, New England as well, earlier at Subaru Park in the campaign, Philadelphia certainly capable of coming back and improving on what's been their best start in club history in this MLS Next Pro era. These 6 games unbeaten has been tremendous. Coming into the match, they were at a 0.83 goals allowed per game, and tied 4th for the lowest goals allowed period with just 5, but of course that's been added on to, and the mark of 5 was also the lowest goals allowed in the entire Eastern Conference as well. So this Philly defense is no slouch, one of the best in the league, and the one of 5 remaining unbeaten teams in 90 minutes this season. The one note, and FC Cincinnati 2 fans might not like to hear this, but Philadelphia has allowed no more than 1 goal per match through the 6 games. So on average, Philadelphia doesn't give up multiple goals. After a bit of an elongated hydro break, it is going to be a throw-in for, or beg your pardon, a free kick for Cincinnati. And the ball's back in play. Westfield. It's headed on for Olivas. Certainly know what he's capable of, and he's able to twist and turn past a couple of defenders. He's brought down, and it's a free kick for Philadelphia. We saw Sal Olivas score a wonderful goal off a tremendous pass by Kevin Sullivan earlier this season. Does really well there, and again Philadelphia in position to search for an equalizer. Now it's the same 2 from earlier, Vasquez and Olney. 10 minutes left in the half. Vasquez, it's off the wall. And Morse was interested for a moment, then realized it was out of his reach. It's out for a Philadelphia corner. I don't think that's exactly how Vasquez wanted to hit it, but it hit off the goal scorer, Valenzuela. Philadelphia get a second bite at the apple. A try from the corner. It goes past everybody. Eddie Davis has to chase it down, but can't catch up to it. Philadelphia have a bit of a missed opportunity there from a set piece. Initially, that looked like that was going to be a Cincinnati throw. Moises Tablante's got to get back into the game because the ball's in play. In the end, Cincinnati's extra men there are able to deal with it, but they give the ball right back. Tablante was convinced that it hit off a Philly player last, but he has to get back in a position there. Philadelphia nearly caught him out. He was discussing it with the assistant on the far side.
Good ball, good ball.
Now then, it could open up here for Daly on the near side. Going at Westfield. Nice. And slipping it through for Valenzuela. who plays in a lovely ball for Mangione, who lays it off, and the shot is saved by Rick. That's the best bit of team play that we've seen from Cincinnati. Multiple players involved. Amir Daly at the heart of it. But Andrew Rick thwarts FC Cincinnati 2's attempts at doubling the advantage. Only keeps it in nicely, but Olivas at the other end couldn't catch up. And a slip and a miscued tackle sees Philadelphia go the other way. Davis tries to pounce here on a miscued clearance. Olivas for Vasquez. Only into the middle, and it has to be headed out of play for a Philadelphia corner as Olney tried to find Davis. Well, that was a bit of a lax moment there from Cincinnati. You can't give those to Philadelphia. They will get you, and they nearly did on that occasion. And they still might from the corner. Another ball bent in. Not definitively cleared. Tablate's header not definitive either. Gabo, he's going to be forced all the way back to Rick. Marlon LeBlanc's loved how the entire defensive unit has played for Philadelphia this season, but of course Andrew Rick and Michael Sheridan, the two goalkeepers, also played a big part, and you saw there with Rick earlier making the big save to keep it at just the one. Those are big moments, and to be fair, Marlon LeBlanc has said that sometimes the goalkeepers haven't been as involved because the defense in front of them has played so well, and sometimes the penalty shootouts are the best exercises for the Philly goalkeepers, but not today. Rick's been very active, and the reason you're hearing some boos here is because the clearance, in the ensuing moment, the ball hit the referee. And Cincinnati feeling they should have gotten a drop ball here. Matt Thompson has given it to Philadelphia to reset. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time in the half. Aguedu under pressure from Olivas. And then it is sent ahead by Schaefer. It is going to bounce past here, and Valenzuela tries to get on the end of it. But after the initial touch came in, Valenzuela was in an offside position. Ball's going to bounce into the seats. Still time for Philly from a throw here to possibly create a chance to get back on level terms. Vasquez turns into trouble, but Philadelphia wins it back, and then Vasquez again quickly loses it. More lovely skill from Valenzuela as he tries to free Cirilla. In the end, Rick's boot sends it ahead. Olivas, did he keep that in? The answer is no. Aguedu does enough to impede. It'll stay with Cincinnati. Another look at the scores from around the league. Looks like Crown Legacy in good shape in Queens to pick up a victory. They lead 3-1. New England leading Miami 3-1. It's still 1-1 between Orlando and Toronto. And of course, LAFC, what a turnaround they've had so far at the start of the season. They lead 1-0 against Timbers 2. Around the same moment in the game that we are here. Cincinnati looking to add on to their lead. Again, Philadelphia's defense is up to the task. We saw Chicago impressively take care of Atlanta earlier today, and then of course there's games throughout the evening in MLS Next Pro as well. We will see Red Bulls against Crew 2 in about 15 minutes time. Kansas City, Minnesota, Texas Derby, North Texas and Houston. That's going to be a free kick for Cincinnati here. And the day wraps up with Vancouver going to play Real Monarchs. Well, a late first half chance here for Cincinnati. Valenzuela is going to leave this. Mangione and Moises Tablante will be the brain trust over this free kick opportunity here. Minute and change left in the half. It's going to be Mangione. He hits it right into the wall. Headed out of play by Sequeira. And it'll be a Cincinnati corner. Mangione tries from a corner. Really put a lot of pace behind it. No one could redirect it on frame. Tablante will reshuffle the deck. Morse gets involved. Sends the ball ahead. Westfield's all over it. But Philadelphia wins it again high up the field. Vasquez not able to find a teammate. But good hustle by Sequeira to win it back, but he couldn't get it to Davis. And then it's not the best tackle from Sequeira, just bundles into the back. Ben Alcazar, free kick. And that will get us into 6 added minutes at the end of the half. And of course, part of that was due to our first half hydro break. I think a yellow card came out there against Giovanni Sequeira. We'll await official confirmation on that. The referee, I think, is just trying to confirm it was Giovanni Sequeira put the challenge in. We have been told that he has been booked. So Sequeira with a yellow for a challenge that, frankly, did not need to be made. Cincinnati again trying to move the ball forward into the attacking third. Tablante involved. Crashing challenge on the back end there by Verdecio. Goes back to FC Cincinnati. It's a turn, a foul, and a free kick. Cincinnati earning another chance here to try to add on to their lead. It's been one of those halves where a moment of quality has really outshined everybody. You could argue, with putting that aside, that Philadelphia have been the better team in this first half, but In isolated moments, Cincinnati have made things happen. Can they do so again here in first half injury time? Sent in by Tablante, couldn't get it past Westfield. Kept alive by Valenzuela, who goes for another goal, blocked by Westfield. Mangione has his pocket picked by Vasquez. And Sequeira sends the ball upfield for Olivas. Sequeira again has it cut out by Jimenez. And Jimenez dances past a couple defenders. Plays Tablante into the play. Tablante into the middle, and he's headed out by Macania. And it'll stay with Cincinnati. Benton again, headed away by Pierre, a Cincinnati corner. It's one of the biggest sustained moments of pressure we've seen Cincinnati put on Philly in this first half. Can they make it worth the while and add a second goal? Valenzuela. Ball is bent back in. No, it's a critical header at the back stick by Sanders Ngabo to make sure Cincinnati didn't crash it in for a second. Really well worked. It's a better angle for the cross, and it nearly finds the head of Isaiah Foster. But Ngabo puts in a critical header there, a big intervention from a Philadelphia point of view. From the ensuing corner, Mangione. Oh, at the near post, it's flicked on. And it goes out wide for another corner. I think Valenzuela got his head to that. A Philadelphia defender was able to just touch it wide. We get a second look at it. Oh, it's a really good header by Valenzuela. Not sure who it quite came off of for Philly. But it just goes agonizingly wide, and it's another Cincy opportunity. Another corner, another header, and this time it goes over and out from Nico Benalcazar. And we enter the final minute of a promised 6. Is there enough time for Philadelphia to come back up the other way? That pass is off the mark. That'll allow Cincinnati to do what they want, essentially. If they want to go for another chance, they can. If they want to just see out the half in the final seconds, they can choose to do that as well. Another good run down this far side. So many players for Cincinnati, so good with the ball close to their feet in those tight spaces. It's a free kick that will not be taken as the half ends here in Kentucky. Well, the moment of the match, and maybe the moment of the match week, coming in that first half off the boots of Gerardo Valenzuela, a moment of pure genius, just dazzling his way through the Philadelphia backline, which takes some doing. That is the only goal of the game so far, and what a goal it was. It promises to be an enthralling second half as well between two of the best the East has to offer, but at the half in Kentucky, it is Cincinnati 1, it is Philadelphia 0. Coming up, Michelle takes us to New Jersey when we come back after this short break.
Messi! Contact and a shot. really, really sweet.
Ahí está el centro. ¡Gol! Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta al frente. ¡Servicio! ¡El tiro! It's saved by Carlos Coronel. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. ¡Golazo! Parte externa va a definir Chicho.
Welcome back. Our halftime score is FC Cincinnati 1, Philadelphia Union 0. Michelle Montaigne took a recent trip to New Jersey to visit with New York Red Bulls 2 head coach Ibrahim Sakaya. Here's what she found out about the former Uganda national team captain.
Today we welcome you inside of the New York Red Bulls training facility. I am Michelle Montaigne, joined by Ibrahim Sakaya, a name that is synonymous with the Red Bulls organization. Coach, you've been such a big part of this club for so long, and it's been such a big part of your life. In your current role as the head coach of Red Bulls 2, what's the most important part to you about getting to really help shape this next generation of players in this club that means so much?
No, I think the most important thing to see the young boys coming up. I think this is the role for us, like with my staff, being the head coach for the second team and seeing the young players coming from our academy going into the first team. Some like traveling away from here to go to another clubs in Europe. This is the most interesting when you see the young players growing up. We had a bunch of players been here for long, seeing Tyler Adams where he is, Matt Miazika, a few along, you can see how they are, but seeing them when they are growing and where they are, this is the most important.
The whole point of this league is to get guys to that point, right? It's to see them get to the next level. But there's obviously a lot of pressure that comes with that. How do you help the guys who have maybe gotten some of that exposure manage that pressure while playing at this level?
No, for us here in the club, I think the most important we talk to the players is about the growing, about to understanding the way how the club works, how we want the players to grow into our system. This is the most important. We don't put too much pressure with the players. They have to enjoy also. But the most important to understand the next step where we want them to be, so that everything, as long as they understand the way how we play, this is the most important.
A couple guys who really understand how you play, Ibrahim Kasule, a couple other guys who are on this roster who are actually from your home country of Uganda. How would you describe the relationship you have with Ibrahim and Frank and Steven?
No, I can say I'm like a father to them. I've seen them growing up and getting the players like that to get a chance to be into this organization. Kasule has done a fantastic job with Steve and Franca. You can see where they are. Those are the players. We saw them at home, and I knew that they can be able to do what they are doing, and they are still growing up. I don't think they already seen what they have to do, but they are still growing up. It's exciting to see them, and this gives another young players like the country where they're coming from so that they can get a chance.
How did you know?
Yeah, I went back home and then I saw them when they are playing, but the connection which I have from my country is big when I see them and then talk about the club, and I knew that they can grow from here, and the club, we saw what they have. They are fantastic players.
Coming over to the United States from a different country, I know there's got to be some time for that acclimation process to take place. How do you help them get used to like the burgers, the food, the new people, everything's new? How do you help them adjust?
I think for them, it's a different. I think the time they came here, I was here and I have been out for so long, I understand it. And I think the United States is a different country. They have all foods, we can find what they want to eat, but the best way is me being here. I think I help them a little bit, and I have family here. We try to cook our food home, and then from there, but now they understand, they eat the food which we need them to be eating.
Are you telling me that you cook sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, favorite thing to cook, or best thing you can cook?
It's gonna be difficult for you to understand because it's a food from our country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it matoke.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
my
I have
fault.
some research to do. All right, Coach, I know it's early in the second season for you guys, but how have you seen your club, the league, evolve in just the amount of time that Red Bulls 2 has been part of MLS Next Pro?
No, it's growing. I think the first year when we came in, we are trying to understand the way the league, but I think every year, for me, the first year, we will try to understand the rules, the way how it's going, and then now we're in the second year where we feel like we understand well, and the teams, every team is growing up now. We see a lot of teams, they have good players, younger players are coming. I think this is the league which we see is going to be growing up in couple of years coming. There are a lot of talent players in there, a lot of clubs.
We're excited to see the league continue to grow, and of course, you guys continue to grow with it. Coach, thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Great stuff there from Coach Sakaya of the New York Red Bulls 2, who you can see later on today in MLS Next Pro action as well. Our first half highlights and stats are coming up next, but first we'll step aside for a quick break here in Kentucky.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza, sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Para Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Huerta. Al frente. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Colin Corner. Con autoridad. El centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. Golazo. Parte externa, va a definir Chicho.
Sean St. Jacques back here with you at the half between Cincinnati and Philadelphia here on MLSNextPro.com. We are moments away from the start of the second half, but first, we have to look back at the first half highlights. I'm sure many of you are excited to see one moment in particular. It began with Philadelphia on the front foot. They really dictated the tempo, which is what Marlon LeBlanc was hoping from them in the first half, and they created some pretty good chances, starting the likes of Eddie Davis and company. This was a good touch from Davis here, but he was in an offside position. But then Cincinnati started to get into the heat of the moment, and then this magical moment from Valenzuela, just absolutely slicing and dicing his way through the Philadelphia back line to give Cincinnati the lead. He tried to do it a second time, and Philadelphia were not having any of it. The visitors did find a couple of moments of response. Eddie Davis with a chance here, just wide of Hunter Morris's goal. And Cincinnati growing in confidence. They nearly scored a few more times. Here is Valenzuela playing a lovely ball in for Mangione, and he just couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet. Valenzuela involved again, playing it onto this far side, a little back heel as well, and then the shot from Tablante saved by Andrew Rick. And then from a corner, great ball Benton looking for Foster, headed away by Sanders Ingabo. Then another chance from a corner, Valenzuela's header, just wide. In the end, after a good start from Philadelphia, it was all Cincinnati, at least on and off, for those last 10 to 15 minutes, and that's why they have the lead. I think the biggest stat, as you look at the halftime match stats from that first half, 0 shots on target for Philadelphia. So despite having some really good moments at the start and at times dictating the tempo in this game, they have not been able to really truly test Hunter Morris in goal yet. FC Cincinnati, too, have certainly tested Andrew Rick, and the goal from Gerardo Valenzuela separates the sides at the half. We will take a break. We will get to the upcoming schedule in MLS Next Pro, and then the second half kick after this.
Dale pues, mamá ya muerte. Más loco, como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, con las manos en la cabeza. Sacúdete, sacúdete, mira, sacúdete.
Messi. La pelota para que llegue. Really sweet. Ahí está el centro. Gol. Maxi Mesa para pegarle. Maxi le pegó. Puerta al frente. Servicio. El tiro. It's saved by Carlos. Con autoridad el centro. A la izquierda en las afueras del área. Le pega. Golazo. Externa para definir Chicho.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got.
I need that in my size.
Cream on cream? The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Moments away from the start of the second half here in Kentucky at the NKU Soccer Stadium in Highland Heights. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, back here with you. Excited to see what happens in this second half. There's no question about that. As you can see there, Philadelphia has made a halftime adjustment through Macania has been taken out. Carlos Rojas has come on for Marlon LeBlanc's side in search of a equalizer, if not more, in this second half. It's certainly going to take quite a bit to top what Gerardo Valenzuela brought for us in the first half. That incredible goal gives Cincinnati the lead, which they still enjoy for now. There's still a big second 45 minutes to go. Philadelphia certainly don't plan on losing their unbeaten run here today. We will see if they have a response as Cincinnati gets the second half started. And there is again that confirmation of the Philadelphia change. It is Rojas on, Macania off for the visitors. Philadelphia began the game so well. We talked about that earlier. They were just not able to score the first goal, and ever since, Cincinnati has taken full advantage, hoping to be the next ones to score, because then they would put Philadelphia in quite the pickle in this second half. It is rare that you see this Philadelphia team, especially this year, concede multiple goals, so LeBlanc does have his defense to rely on to at least try to keep them in the game, and then see if his attacking triumvirate, really, Livas, Davis, and Sequeira, can get them back in the match. Here's a lovely ball played in behind here. A chance to cross it into the middle, and Morris is able to make the catch. The Livas and the aforementioned Davis lurking in the middle. One of the other things, too, that Martin LeBlanc reminded his team of this week is the last time that Philadelphia lost in the 90 minutes, I have to go back to the MLS Next Pro playoffs last year in Foxborough. Philadelphia were 3-0 down against New England. Philadelphia came back to make it 3-2. They nearly equalized in the second half. In the end, Revs 2 advanced and got to the Eastern Conference Final. They lost to Columbus. Philadelphia have not lost since that game in regulation. Of course, before that, Philadelphia was also on a 3-game winning streak. So just one loss in 90 minutes for these last, well, pretty much 6 months. Pretty impressive. But Valenzuela has been pretty impressive for Cincinnati. Tries to find a teammate, but Westfield is there. There's Moises Tablante for Cincy. Schaefer. Far side, Aguidu. It's touched up ahead. Was there a shirt pull there on Cirilla? Yes, there was. And our head official, Matt Thompson, is on the case, brings it back for a free kick. A few matches went final during our halftime break. Wins for Chicago earlier, and then while we were in halftime, Crown Legacy, New England, and Toronto all winning their matches. That was taken quickly, in fact, too quickly. The referee's liking will be brought back to be taken again, to be taken on the whistle. Of course, there are 3 other live games going on. We'll keep you up to date on those as our second half advances. Take 2 on the free kick for Cincinnati, and it's really well placed, and it's touched in! A tremendous afternoon continues for Gerardo Valenzuela. So nice, he scored twice. He touches it in for 2-0, and Cincinnati have the perfect start to the second half. Hadn't scored in the league before today. Valenzuela has a brace, and Philadelphia's unbeaten start to the season is now in serious jeopardy. 2 top-class finishes from Valenzuela. Philadelphia have it all to do for the last 40 minutes. Now, certainly, Cincinnati has been able to keep the momentum alive in this second half, and Gerardo Valenzuela is really starting to turn heads. As another ball is sent packing. He'll stay with Cincinnati, and Gerardo Valenzuela's had the key to unlocking this Philadelphia defense. Again, it's so rare that Philly concedes multiple goals. On average, they just simply don't do that. They have today. Valenzuela's been able to take them apart. Now we will really see what Marlon LeBlanc's boys are made of in this second half. Going to come now down by 2 if they are to keep the unbeaten run afloat. Now then, Jimenez tries to play it across for Cirilla. It still could fall for a chance here. Valenzuela's on a hat trick. His cross is blocked away in the end by Berdacio. Now then, Cincinnati really starting to hum. Valenzuela, a little back heel. Ball is bent into the penalty area, nobody there. It's nearly won back again. This time by Tablante. Of course, we know the first team for Cincinnati is well stacked, but at some point you'd think surely soon they could use somebody, more often at least. Gerardo Valenzuela. We've seen time with them since signing that homegrown contract, but has found this stage to re-announce himself, if not announce himself for the first time in some ways for some. Maybe re-announcing for those who've forgotten the quality that he possesses. It's going to be a free kick for Philly here. Taken by Vasquez and headed high into the air. Pierre's in the mix here for Philadelphia. It's back-heeled out of trouble. Olivas, we'll see it go out of play for a throw. From the throw, it's bent in looking for Davis. Chance to maybe volley it by Sequeira. Vasquez has his cross blocked. Westfield. Vasquez. Vasquez trying to shovel it over the top. It goes out of play. Still a long way to go, but one thing worth mentioning as far as the context is concerned is if Cincinnati can win this, they'll have beaten Philadelphia for a third consecutive time. They swept Philadelphia last season after Philly swept them the year prior. We talked about that earlier, but this would be 3 straight wins. That's still an if. Foster cleans it up and clears it away for FC Cincinnati 2. It's going to be deflected out of play. It's a throw. One back by Berdacio, and it's a tame cross in the end. It'll be picked up by Morse. Here's Valenzuela on a hat trick for Cincinnati. Good build-up play from FC Cincinnati. Poked over the top by Benalcazar. Tries to follow it up, heads it down for Valenzuela. Thought about finishing his tremendous afternoon with a flourish. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of FC Cincinnati. In the end, that ball took a flight out of play. Valenzuela tried to really seal the deal, scoring maybe his best of the bunch, but it was well off target. Nice recovery there by Amir Daly. And he wins a free kick to boot. It allows Cincinnati to reset. Nice step defensively by Berdacio. Benalcazar. His pass picked off by Pierre. And then it's brought back, free kick. A challenge on Olney. There'll be a Philadelphia free kick, if you couldn't tell by the groans. And LeBlanc's boys still looking to find a lifeline here. Let's float it in. Olivas' header, it's a free header at the back stick, and Davis sends it right down the middle, and Hunter Morse in the end made a rather comfortable stop. That was a real chance for the Union here. Any direction besides down the middle, and Philadelphia are likely right back in this. Eddie Davis is the rising star of Week 6 in MLS Next Pro. Also got the honor in Week 3 as well. Was the rising star of the month for the month of March as well with Riley Delgado, Ventura County. 17 years of age. He has scored in back-to-back games for Philly. Here comes the Cincinnati change here. Kyle Gibert is going to come on for London Agadu. It's going to be a triple change for Marlon LeBlanc, Gavin Wetzel, Leandro Soria, who just signed for Philadelphia 2 days ago from Queens, New York, the Argentinian first tier. And Kyle Tucker also is going to come on. Just like Berdacio, the aforementioned Eddie Davis, and Giovanni Sequeira, all coming off in one go here for Philadelphia Union 2. Again, Gibert for Agadu. For Cincy, Tucker, Wenzel, and Soria on. Davis, Berdacio, Sequeira off for Philly. So Marlon LeBlanc, of course, as we expected, is going to use the chess pieces he has on the bench, try and change the outcome. Tyrone Marshall can still make 4 changes. Marlon LeBlanc is now down to his last change. He only has 2 outfield players left. Jack Andrus and Alex Perez are the only 2 remaining on the Philadelphia bench. Leandro Soria, again, they just brought into the fold a couple of days ago, was their only remaining striker on the bench. He's in the fold now. We'll see if he will get a chance. Meanwhile, Valenzuela for the hat trick. Froze the goalkeeper. And bends it wide. He's continuing to show his class. You can see just putting that whip and dip on it. Not quite able to find the target. Boca Raton native in Florida, 19 years old, Valenzuela. He's in behind here, but the offside flag is up. Talked about how he's a homegrown player. Did appear for 2 games with the first team last season. It's been sparing this season as well. He keeps playing like he's playing, and that's why this platform in MLS Next Pro is such a great place to announce yourself. He's a situation where he could continue to move up the ladder. This portion of the match is brought to you by Cintas, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. Here comes a Philadelphia corner. And it's bent in nicely. It is headed away by Schaefer. And Valenzuela tries to bring it the other way, but he's closed down. Well, I talked about it earlier. 3 other games going on at the moment. LAFC leading Portland by a goal to 0. Columbus in New Jersey today, leading New York Red Bulls by a goal to 0. And this ball's going to roll out of play, looking for Olivas. We can also tell you that the Fighting Benny Failhabers of SKC2 are leading their rivals Minnesota by 2 goals to 0 as well. The latter 2 games, New York and Kansas City's games, are still in the first half. Now then, here comes Cincinnati in pursuit of another goal that would surely put this to bed. Talked about how impressive Cincinnati were in Georgia last time out. Well, they have backed that up again today so far. The thing too is it is early, but it is worth taking a peek at the table every once in a while. If this result holds, Philadelphia, who had a chance to go back to the top of the Eastern Conference table, would actually slip into third behind Chicago on a tiebreaker, and Chattanooga, the new boys, independent side, would stay in first place after they took care of other new boys, Carolina Core, yesterday. If Cincinnati holds on, of course, they would jump up from 8th to 5th in the live table. Again, that is pending other results elsewhere. Still very early, but also still worth mentioning. The little ball roll there, Valenzuela was looking for a free kick. It did not come. Philadelphia come out with possession in search of a game-changing moment themselves. They certainly have players on the pitch that can provide that. Rick has to clear. It's headed forward, and the whistle goes. Free kick for FC Cincinnati. That ball skips underneath the boot of Tablante. Back to Philly it goes. Last time out, there's a brief stoppage here. The referee to look at something. It's near technical area. Should mention that Cincinnati had a season high 16 shots last time out against Atlanta. Cincinnati is unbeaten when out shooting their opponents this season. That's in 3 prior games, 2 wins and a draw. At the moment, Cincinnati is out shooting Philadelphia 9-5. Potentially a stat could bear fruit again for the hosts. On the attack again with just under 20 minutes left, and potentially just under 20 minutes left of Philadelphia's unbeaten start to the season. And 1 of 5 coming into the day who had not lost. That number in general might be knocked out a few pegs. If some of the scores hold. Ball is won back nicely by Jimenez. Benalcazar. Tablante. Tablante into the middle. It's going to ricochet out for a Cincinnati corner. This portion of the match is brought to you by CTI Clinical Trial and Consulting, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. From the corner, Valenzuela's cross is blocked. To fight for it on the edge of the penalty area. Philly just about get it away, but Tablante wins it back. Finds Valenzuela. Jimenez has his shot blocked. Cirilla follows up. Westfield shields and Rick collects. Can Philadelphia build a way back? Soria out wide. Oh, it's just about kept in. I'm not sure if the corner flag helped out, but Philly keep it alive, and a shot is fired in. But it is going to go well wide of Hunter Morse's goal. And it is going to be a goal kick. Referees reminded Hunter Morse of the clock a couple of times. Just a reminder that if he does take too long, the referee could very well brandish a card. Of the yellow variety, of course. Nice ball out wide by Valenzuela. Here's Tablante. Valenzuela. Benalcazar. Benalcazar gets the ball back. Lovely cutback. Oh, and then it's blazed over the top by Mangione, who could have sealed the deal. Wonderful build-up play on that far side. That could have put this game on ice. Valenzuela scored both of the Cincinnati goals. Philly bring it the other way with Vasquez. Soria was asking for it. Run continues, and a nibble of a challenge from Daly. Brings it back for a Philadelphia free kick. And I believe Amir Daly has been yellow carded for the aforementioned intervention. So a prime position here for Philadelphia. Try and get back into the match as we look at the challenge again. Pretty clear cut. Philadelphia still have 15 minutes left. Vasquez stands over it. It is a cluttered wall inside the penalty area. But before the kick can be taken, it does look like Cincinnati are going to make a change here. Tablante is going to come off. And Ben Stitz, who scored last time out, is going to come on. Another player that Tyrone Marshall's been really happy with the progression of. However, this time, in this particular moment, he'll be asked to do some defending here in the wall. From the free kick. It's bent in beautifully. Oh, it's a stunner. A tremendous strike from Kyle Tucker. Gives Philadelphia new life here in Kentucky. It's a scorcher. Now we've seen two absolutely phenomenal goals today. Kyle Tucker comes off the bench, and there's new life for Philadelphia down the stretch. 13 minutes left. We head to a water break, and it's 2-1. It is Kyle Tucker's second goal in Next Pro this season. Frankly, again, you're not going to see many better than that. We may have the two top contenders for goal of the week in the same game. Talk about top-class finishing. And Philly have been fighting for that moment. They've been craving a moment to give themselves some belief. Well, Kyle Tucker has certainly delivered that, and we could be in store for a wonderful finish here. Marlon LeBlanc has praised his side in the past for their resilience, their ability to fight back in moments just like this. I said it earlier, Philadelphia certainly has the quality on the pitch to get back into it, and did they ever show it there? We head back out of the hydro break with a changed game, frankly. It's no longer the walk in the park it looked like for a moment there for Cincinnati. And remember, Cincinnati had that big chance at the other end to make it 3-0 off the boot of Mangione. Kyle Tucker gives Philadelphia a new lease on life. They have 11 minutes plus a potentially large portion of stoppage time now to claw it back. Now then, Olney plays it in behind. It's a spinning shot. And it's going to be deflected out for a Philadelphia corner off the boot of the new boy Soria. Well, here we go. Philadelphia's turn to start turning the screws and asking the questions. From the corner. It's sent in. Oh, it was a mad scramble and leap for it inside the penalty area. And the referee's going to bring this back to deal with a potential head injury here. Philadelphia certainly, I should say, went after that set piece. The a lot of physicality. You can see there that little flip over, I think, is what led to the potential head injury. Good spot, by the way, by our head official, Matt Thompson. He was all over it. It's arguably the referee's most important job is to spot things like that. Credit to our referee here for not wasting a moment. Looks like it is Isaiah Foster who is struggling a bit here for Cincinnati. Matt Thompson telling the Philadelphia boys he's going to keep all this in mind for stoppage time, of course, but the more important part is to make sure everyone involved is okay. Foster's back up onto his feet, and he gets a nice hand from the crowd here in Kentucky. Good to see him up and walking. Question now is whether or not Tyrone Marshall is going to have to make a change. He has 3 available. He also has 2 defenders available off the bench. Hunter Stout and Juan Machado would be the prime candidates. He wants to go to the midfield portion, but that is still to be decided as Foster heads off the field, at least for now. We will wait and see on any potential change. There has been a change in a couple of the other live scores. LA have added another goal. It's 2-0 over Portland. Columbus 2-0 over Red Bull. Oh, we have been told that a change is going to be made. It's going to be from the midfield core. Jesus Castellano is going to come on. And unfortunately, that is going to be the end of the day for Isaiah Foster. We hope that it is nothing serious and get the attention he needs to recover. 2 changes left for Cincinnati, just the 1 left for Philly. It did take a few minutes, about 3, I think, if my math was correct, to deal with that injury. So we could have quite a lengthy period of stoppage time. We had 6 added minutes at the end of the first half. We could have that, maybe even a little bit more, because of the hydro break as well in the Kentucky heat. Philadelphia are hoping to turn up the heat down the stretch, trying to come back from 2 goals down. And Vasquez loops up a dangerous ball, at least it looked that way initially, in for Soria, but it's going to bounce out of play with 6 minutes left of the 90. Philly wins the second header. And he's the substitute, Castellano, with a bright introduction, at least initially, and he runs out of room on the near side. And Philadelphia, we're going to take the throw. But the referee, I think, has brought this back for a Cincinnati free kick earlier in the sequence. So Cincinnati restart the play. Benalcazar somehow gets that through 3 Philly defenders. Lovely turn by Cirilla, who's chopped down. Free kick for Cincy. And a yellow card comes out for the challenge by Neil Pierre. So Pierre is booked. Cincinnati have a chance to try to reestablish their 2-goal advantage. There are multiple candidates that are interested in this. Gioni has walked away. Castellano lurks, but this is going to be Valenzuela, and instead of striking it, he's going to take it short. Cincinnati want to use some clock maybe and keep possession. Valenzuela's been playing. I'm a little surprised he didn't try to go for that and finish off what would be a memorable MLS Next Pro hat trick. Now then, here comes Philadelphia. Gabu out wide. It's along by Rojas, and it breaks down. Westfield and Olney watch it go out of play. Throw in for Cincinnati, 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. And again, if this holds, Philadelphia's unbeaten start to the season will come to a close here in Kentucky. That ball's played ahead beautifully. That's a chance here for Ben Stitz. Early ball. And Castellano goes down. Oh, he finishes it anyway. Fantastic. Gerardo Valenzuela brought down. He somehow finishes off his hat trick anyway. Gerardo Valenzuela has scored all 3 goals for Cincinnati, and that surely wraps up the points. Castellano gets it involved. It looked like for a moment that we could have been having a discussion of a penalty. But Valenzuela, again, showing you his incredible instincts, still slides it past Rick anyway. A memorable hat trick. And it seems now that the Philadelphia unbeaten beginning to this season is going to be extinguished. Now, he's just been exquisite today, Gerardo Valenzuela. And if this performance doesn't turn heads, I don't know what will. He's scored 2 goals that have been very scrappy and more down to instincts and just incredible reactions, really. And that first goal was just a moment of magic. Quick feet, dancing between defenders and just shredding Philadelphia's back line to pieces. We had that incredible goal from Kyle Tucker, which gave Philly some momentum. But Valenzuela's found the answer. And now the aforementioned Castellano helped make that happen, trying to dribble through. Not able to do so. Oh, Valenzuela's really going into his bag of tricks here. Gets it back from Castellano and then tried to return the favor. And then it's a foul and a free kick for Philly. We are told that there's going to be a big amount of stoppage time left as Castellano is booked for the challenge. So Cincinnati maybe not out of the woods yet, but Philly now again have to score 2 goals. Again, considering how good the Philadelphia defense has been, conceding 3, that's quite the story, as we now are into 9 added minutes at the end of this one. We told you it could be a big chunk. could give Philly a bit more belief, knowing there's still a lot of time left, especially if they could score quickly. And Gabo, oh, that's given away to Daly. One back by Olney. Pierre. Feels like one of those where if Philly can score in the next couple of minutes, maybe they're not done yet. 9 minutes could take a lot of time. Here's Westfield bending the ball in. You can see where he was trying to go. Olivas was making a good run. Hunter Morse makes a good catch. Pierre's header. Daly watches it go out for a throw-in. After this one, Cincinnati hosts Crown Legacy to begin the new month of May. They'll be here in Kentucky as well. Another opportunity for them to grab some points. And for Philly, if they can't come back, they'll have to try to bounce back next Sunday. And they will host Huntsville at Subaru Park. That's going to be on Apple TV. Meanwhile, Stitz for Cincinnati, looking for Mangione. And the intricacy of some of the passing from Cincinnati has just been wonderful to watch today. Philly have time to use here. Can they use it to build a comeback? Soria. Westfield. Tucker. Bent back in for Tucker, who tried to control it, but wasn't quite able to do so. He was closed down. One back here, and Vasquez is tripped up. It's a free kick. With 6 minutes left, Philly will get a set-piece chance. Vasquez leaves it for Tucker to take. Tucker bends in a wonderful ball, but nobody for Philadelphia could square it up. Oh, that's almost inch perfect from Tucker. It was begging for somebody to get a head onto it. And then it's a silly foul in the end. Given away by Carlos Rojas, and that allows Cincinnati to use a bit more of the clock. Almost any contact on that ball in from Tucker could have put Philadelphia back in business. Ooh, that's going to go past Westfield, who's slow to get up. It's played backwards for Cirilla. Couldn't get there. It's out for a Philadelphia throw as they are starting to run out of time here, the Union. Down to the last 4 minutes and change. Nice move there from Ngabu. He does 2 nice moves and plays in a wonderful ball here for Soria. Soria cross! Oh! And Olivas couldn't finish, and Hunter Morse may have gotten a touch on that. Somehow Philadelphia couldn't put that in. It was wonderful build-up play. They'll have to settle for a corner. More promising moments here from the visitors. From the corner, it was flicked on initially by Rojas. Vasquez touches it back into possession. Vasquez again. In the end, it fizzles out. All the way back it goes for Rick. Philly have had a couple of real chances here. 3 minutes left for them to score 2 goals. Gabu not able to find somebody there. It's out of play. It's a Philadelphia throw. Looks like there's going to be a change here for Cincinnati. Stefan Cirilla is going to come off. Yanir Loyes is going to take his place. Both teams have used 4 of the 5 changes available, although for Cincinnati, I believe that's their last window. Philly keep pushing. Vasquez bending one in. Cincinnati clears. Now Philly are going to have to score twice in as many minutes, or their unbeaten run ends here. Rojas. Gabo dispossessed, and now Cincinnati could play their way through here. Stitz as Valenzuela was taken out. Stitz for Valoyes. This would settle the deal, and it's stopped by Rick. Nearly an immediate impact from the substitute, but Rick just about keeps Philly afloat. For how much longer? Ball is sent ahead by Jimenez. Rick collects, but Philly only have a minute left. Maybe a little bit extra added on, but not much. Ball is played ahead, looking for Tucker. Morris is there. Barring any add-ons after stoppage time, that is very likely to be that. Really has been a game where we've seen some of the best that MLS Next Pro has to offer as far as quality, not just in the goals, but in the build-up and in some of the defensive moments as well. Valoyes might get another chance to wrap things up. He's closed down. Valenzuela plays it back. We've had the 9 added minutes. No whistle yet. Castellano, Jimenez, and the offside flag is up. Matt Thompson looks at his watch. We're into the 100th minute. Andrew Rick plays it ahead. Westfield has his pass picked off. Stitz, sent ahead by Valenzuela. Stitz again plays it ahead. It's a Philadelphia throw. We are going to play through all of the 100 minutes here. Is going to be played back, and that is the last act. Cincinnati knocks Philadelphia off from the ranks of the unbeaten. And Gerardo Valenzuela puts his name up in lights today here in Kentucky. A hat trick for him in what will go down as one of the best performances you will see this season. Maybe one of the best goals from him that you will see this season as well. And of course, if you haven't already guessed, he's our Adidas Man of the Match as well for his moment of genius here, just absolutely threading away through the Philadelphia defense. Not many teams can stop that, but he was far from done. A great finish there off a set piece, just using his tremendous intellect to get a boot around it. And then the instincts on this third goal here. Castellano and Stitz helping it out. And then this tremendous run. And Castellano, as he's nearly being brought down, using his instincts to continue on anyway and finish the deal for FC Cincinnati 2. What a performance from him today, and really, FC Cincinnati 2 were tremendous as a team throughout. A wonderful free kick goal from Kyle Tucker in the end is a footnote in Kentucky today. For our entire MLS Next Pro crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We finish our coverage here in Kentucky and let you know that the final score again is Cincinnati 3, Philadelphia 1, and Philadelphia's unbeaten start to the season comes to a close here. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long and MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and here at MLSNextPro.com. We say good night from Highland Heights.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.